Yo, what's up, people? Welcome to the Fomo Factory. Today, I would like to show you why you should be very careful with altcoins, because a lot of people get wrecked, not in the bear market when it goes down, but in this relief rally where everything goes up. And I want this community to be safe, right? I'm not saying that I know what's going to happen, but I would like to point out what I think is going to happen and base your own strategy to that. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, turn on the bell notifications, and like the video already if you like the video. Now let's get into the juicy part. Let's talk about some altcoins. I wanted to post a video about how to build the best crypto portfolio today, but that video is coming out tomorrow, as I think this one is way more important. I want to talk about altcoins, why I think altcoins are going down. And even if Bitcoin has found its bottom, which we don't know yet, altcoins could still wreck you hard, really hard. So please be careful with it. Believe me, I'm not a perma bear or anything. No. But I do know when to be careful in this market right now. And there was a long time where I didn't know it. And I know a lot of you guys might be quite new, relatively new to crypto. You might maybe not know that. So let's take a look at this. So the first thing, just to talk a little bit about the market itself, Bitcoin is doing, you know, pretty decent. Let me check if I can. Well, let me just take this chart right here. So Bitcoin is doing pretty decent, right? I mean, we came down, we had a relief rally, we came down, we had a relief rally, we came down, we have a relief rally. But so far, what do you see in these relief rallies? Every time we have such a relief rally, especially if I put it on the daily, you'll notice that if we have a relief rally, we stay there for multiple days, even multiple weeks before we go down. Here as well, we go up, we stay there for a long while, make people believe that this is actually a level we can sustain before we get slapped down again. All right, so it's not just a wick and down again. That will be too easy, and the market is not here for us to make it easy for us. Right? Now, in this relief rally as well, we're not here for that long. Like, we are, you know, we still have to get used to the fact that 21K is the level that we're at right now. And then when we get slapped down, you know, below 20K, everybody feels like shit, because that's a psychological level as well. I'm not saying it will happen. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think that's going to happen. But that's it for Bitcoin right now. Other than that, Bitcoin is doing really good because we broke the bull market support band right here, which we only did in March 2022. We stayed there for, like, when we broke it, we stayed there for a week. And in the second week, we broke down, and then it was resistance again. And you know, it looks like we are in this second week, so we are here right now. And, you know, could we stay here for a few more weeks or maybe even months? Yeah, possible. And maybe we will finally stay above this level, but it doesn't say anything, but it's a good sign. It's a good sign. So let me get my cheat sheet, because this is not what it's about. It's about the Bitcoin or about the altcoins, right? Now, there are multiple arguments I have why altcoins will probably go down a lot. I will show you a couple of charts, and I will show you some examples that happened in the last bear market as well. And please, make up your mind and be a little careful with that. And after that, I will have a great piece of not financial advice for you. So first thing that really stands out to me, though, is this. In every relief rally, this is a bear flag, right? We have this falling wedge, this big falling wedge, which is coming down like this in these white lines, which is pretty, you know, bullish, because usually we break out of that, and that's what we just did. But when it's the other way around, that's a bear flag. And every bear flag so far, we go up. Like here from January, we stayed there until April. So we were there for 4 months. Like, people were getting used to, like, going up again and then get slapped down again. Here as well, we went in this bear flag from June to August. Couple of months, came down, right? That's with a bear market. We spend more time going up than down, but when we go down way harder. You see these red candles are way more significant than these green candles, right? Although this green candle was kind of exceptionary. But so far, this is just another bear flag we have been in since November, and it's now January, and we are now at the top of it, right? We're now at the top of that bear flag. We are at this horizontal right here. We are at this major resistance all the way back since the bear market started, basically. We are almost there. So around this level, we are facing a lot of resistance for Bitcoin. To just say one more thing about Bitcoin. So, you know, people on Twitter, on YouTube, I don't know, I see it a lot now, like calling for 25K. These people should do a little technical analysis and figure out that 25K is not that likely for now. It's definitely not impossible, and we will get there at some point. But it's not like we will get there with no problem. There are lots of resistances right now that we have to face, and we won't break all these resistances at once. That's just not how it works, especially considering the, you know, the macro right now, because we're still likely to face a recession. All right, altcoin time. I have a couple of reasons why altcoins go down. First of all, Bitcoin. What do you see when we look at Bitcoin? Ignore these yellow lines. Look at the white lines, all right? We were in this falling wedge, to call it. I don't know, maybe there's a better word for it. Since August, basically, since a long time. Maybe even since June, if you want to take it from here. And we were going down, and now we finally broke out of here. So that's some strength for Bitcoin, right? That's really some strength for Bitcoin. All right, so if we take a look at the total market, you'll see that we broke out of here as well, right? And I have to, yeah, didn't mean me. So we broke out of here as well, because this includes everything. So also Bitcoin. But here comes the fun stuff. Because I got some shit comments about someone like, you know, someone said like, altcoins are not going down, Gala is pumping, you're wrong on everything. Like, okay, should I point out that there are always exceptions, like there are always altcoins that pop a lot, right? And out of the general information that I give you about my thoughts on the altcoins, there is always one altcoin that does what it does. That doesn't necessarily make it invalid what I said in general, right? So what I said is, or what I wanted to say is that, so you saw Bitcoin break out, right? The total market, so including Bitcoin, also broke out of here. But if you look at the total too, which is everything except Bitcoin, you see that it's not breaking out of here. So what does that mean? Bitcoin is a lot stronger, right? Because if you exclude Bitcoin, it's facing this resistance. Matter of fact, it's getting rejected kind of perfectly on this line, right? So that's something to keep your eyes on. That this is just what it does, right? This is the move that it makes until it breaks out. Could it be that it breaks out still? Yeah, it's possible. But for now, you just see that Bitcoin is stronger than altcoins. And this is mainly pretty high still, because Ethereum is doing quite good. Because if we look at Ethereum is pumping quite hard as well, right? Because if we now take a look at so this is the total 2, so this is everything except Bitcoin. But if we now take a look at the total 3, which is everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum, then you see this, right? So what's the difference right here? This hasn't even touched the resistance yet, right? So this means that mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum are lifting the current run, right? So if it wasn't for Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's not doing so well, basically, you know. And like, of course, like I said, we have Gala, we have a couple of coins that really pop, of course. But these coins don't have enough impact and don't have enough of a market dominance to push the total 3 up, right? So that shows that Bitcoin is relatively a lot stronger than altcoins at the moment. All right, so you could have better been in Bitcoin than in altcoins, unless you, of course, exceptions there, picked that one altcoin that popped, right? But you cannot really know which one that's going to be. So that shows that Bitcoin is just a lot stronger, and if not, Ethereum is. If we look at why altcoins, why there's another reason why altcoins are still not really there yet, and why it's still kind of dangerous. Patterns, right? I mean, it's very simple. In a market, if it makes lower lows and lower highs, we are still going down, right? And you don't want to... I said this a lot, and I'm going to say it real quick this time. A market has 4 phases: accumulation, uptrend, distribution, downtrend, accumulation again, right? This is where you buy, this is where you make profit, this is where you take your profit, this is where you do nothing, and this is where you start over again, right? So this phase here is where it makes lower lows and lower highs. If we look at this total tree right now, what is it doing? Look at the chart. We have a high, we have a lower high, and we have a lower high, right? We have a low, we have a lower low, we have a lower low. So when it comes to that, it's still making lower lows and lower highs. So nothing really changed. So the trend is still that it will do this until the trend breaks, right? But you could have thought the same thing right here, like, okay, but now it's going to break, right? Or you maybe thought it right here. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you are still in loss, right? So be a little careful when it still makes lower lows and lower highs. So although we have a relief rally again for altcoins, altcoins are still weak. Okay, please know that altcoins are still weak. And these relief rallies should be a very good opportunity for you, that if you have some profits, take them. But we'll talk about that in a short while. So that's another thing. And what also lines up with the fact that altcoins are just not so strong compared to Bitcoin, and I will talk about the strategy that you could apply to take advantage of this, is the Bitcoin dominance. How much money is sitting in Bitcoin instead of altcoins? If we look at the Bitcoin dominance, you see that it's going up since September, basically, right? So the Bitcoin dominance has been going up for it's going up quite a lot, right? If this goes up, it means that altcoins are bleeding against Bitcoin, right? So also, when it comes to that, if you want to make some money on your dollars, you could have better been in Bitcoin. That's simply it. Why fuck around with Bitcoin while altcoins showing a lot more risk and a lot more weakness, while Bitcoin is moving way stronger right now? It doesn't make sense. But people feel like, you know, they want to degen into altcoins because altcoins just have bigger returns. In a bear market, that's not necessarily the case, especially not now, because there is like, and for everybody that saw someone talk about an altcoin season or something on Twitter, there is no such thing that even looks like an altcoin season right now. It's not like, this is not an altcoin season. An altcoin season is where altcoins outperform Bitcoin, aka where the Bitcoin dominance is going down so that people shift their money from Bitcoin into altcoins. We had a slightly small altcoin season in June. That relief rally we had in June, if you remember that was an altcoin season, right? Here the dominance came down a lot. Now the dominance is going up. What do we have right now? It is really a Bitcoin season. That's basically all it is. And I'm gonna show you something else, which is quite funny. Yeah, here we go. All right. Here, you can also see it. This is a dashboard by Benjamin Cohen. And this is an altcoin season index. And the blue line is the Bitcoin price. The red line is showing if there's an altcoin season or a Bitcoin season. So if we are in this red territory here above, then there is an altcoin season going on. If we are in this green area right here, then it's a Bitcoin season. And if we apply a moving average, we clean up some noise right here. So it's very simple. Once we are in the green area, you can better be in Bitcoin. And once we are in the red area, you can better be in altcoins. Look where it's going to. it's not in an altcoin season at all, right? So please know that, right? Like I said, in the relief rally from June to September, give or take, it's what we just saw on the Bitcoin dominance. That was an altcoin season. You see it right here. We went from Bitcoin season all the way up here. That was the alt season. So please be a little careful with altcoins. The Bitcoin dominance is still in this range right here, right? This yellow line of 48%, give or take, until, you know, this yellow line of 39%. This is a big range. You may feel like, oh, it's just 10% difference. Now it's more than 10% difference, of course. It's like 22% different. But if we go up from here to here, it's an impact of 60% on your portfolio, probably, if not more, right? If not way more. And we are ranging in this area from like May 21 till now. So that's more than 1.5 years right now, right? And it's going up, down, down, and we are now, what we are approaching, we are going up. And this time we are slowly going up, but we basically always slowly going up, right? It looks a little bit like this, where we slowly go up, we might go down, retest, and go up again, right? Slowly go up, down, retest, go up again. I've drawn this. BTC back to alts and alts back to BTC. That's just my personal note right here. So once we are down here, it's maybe a good idea to convert some altcoins to Bitcoin. If we are up here, it's maybe a good idea to put your Bitcoin back to alts. So this is the strategy that I am going to apply. Like, if you hear me talk about be careful with altcoins and all that, so what is the strategy and what can you maybe best do right now? Well, I don't know what you should do, but I can, of course, tell you what I can. So I got basically two strategies right now. One is very simple, basically, buying Bitcoin, right? And I'm not saying I am buying Bitcoin right now at $21,200, because I personally think that around this level we are set for a pullback. Till where could we get the pullback? Well, I think that around the level of $19,500. You know, if we bounce there, that's pretty good. So I will buy a little bit by there. But it could definitely be that we go lower, though. That's what we don't know. Therefore, I'm dollar costing, right? Dollar costing is the safest way to do it if you don't, if you're not able to time the bottom. And I think a lot of people are not able. I am not able to do that, at least. So that's one strategy, right? Then once altcoins bottom against Bitcoin, I will buy back the altcoins with my Bitcoin for a big part once the Bitcoin dominance is sitting at around 48%, right? And when do altcoins bottom? Well, let me check my crystal ball. I don't know, but I can give you a couple of great examples, because in the last bear market, you have to remember this. When did Bitcoin bottom in the last bear market? Bitcoin bottomed the 10th of, I think, December. Let me take a look. Bitcoin bottomed the 10th of December 2018. 10th of December 2018. Remember that date. I got a couple of examples, because also, although Bitcoin found its bottom right there, would have it been smart if you bought altcoins there? Over the long term, yes, of course. If you bought good altcoins, but. Was it the best place to buy right there? No, hell no. What was the best strategy right here? Buy a shitload of Bitcoin in this area, wait it out, and later buy altcoins with Bitcoin. Why do I say that? I've got a couple of examples. Let's take a look at Cardano Bitcoin, for example. So the 10th of December 2018, right? If we look at Cardano Bitcoin, 10th of December 2018. That's here. So here is where Bitcoin bottomed. So what if you bought Cardano right here? You see how far Cardano went down still, right? So if you bought it right here, yes, at the end of the day, you would have made profits on your Cardano Bitcoin. Of course, you would have made like, well, even for now, you would have made a 2x, and on the top, you would have made a 7x. Definitely good, right, for the long term. But in the meantime, if you bought Cardano right here, on your Bitcoin pair, you would still be down 50%. Because altcoins, in this case Cardano, you know, give or take 1 year later, found its bottom, right? So although Bitcoin found its bottom and it went up, Cardano still went down against Bitcoin, and you would have had like, you know, from July 2019 till March. So you would have had half a year of accumulation right here. This was the accumulation part for Cardano to buy with your Bitcoin. Right? And your Bitcoin was worth more right here. So, and if you then bought your Cardano, you would have not pulled off a 6x, but a 15x. Another example, and that's not just one exception or anything. Like, it's not like that I'm pointing out the exception right here. If you look at Ethereum Bitcoin, 10th of December 2018. Okay, let's go get there. 10th of December 2018 was here. It looks like a bottom, right? Yeah, it looks like a bottom. What happened? Give or take a year later. Ethereum Bitcoin found its bottom right there. And what would have been the difference? 10th of December 2018. Another 40% dump before we found the bottom, right? Another coin that we had back then, something that's still quite relevant, XLM. 10th of December, and this is a very extreme example, but we will have extreme examples in this bear market as well, right? XLM, 10th of December 2018 was here, was still the highest point, basically, right? XLM really never recovered, so, you know, but if you would have bought it right here because you thought like, okay, Bitcoin has bottomed, so altcoins would have bottomed as well, well, that would have been not so good for your portfolio, because still, till the day of today, you would be down 86%, right? So you would have been better off not buying XLM at all and buying it right now, because you're still buying the low, right? Another one, SIA coin, 10th of December 2018 was here, right? But we found the bottom right here 2 years later, right? And even now we are sitting around that bottom. So it's just best if you invest in Bitcoin before you start looking into altcoins, unless you are, for all kind of reasons, fundamentally and chart-wise, really convinced that this is the time to buy that specific altcoin, because like I said, there are always exceptions, of course. Right now, how to, before I wrap it up, handle such a relief rally, because you feel maybe like, okay, we have a good relief rally and a lot of altcoins. Like if you check out CoinGecko, it's quite interesting that if you take it over the last week, for example, you see a lot of altcoins really popping, right? Decentraland, 70% fraction, and this is just the top 100, but a lot of 40, 50, 60% gains, and even outside of the top 100, we have more than 100% gains, right? Well, it might not be a bad idea to take your altcoins. And if you are down on your dollar value, for example, if you look at Cardano, what if you bought Cardano right here, right? And we are now here. I can assume that you will have the question like, okay, should I take my loss now? The loss is not that big, or should I wait till I have profit and then sell? What I would do is I would look at the individual coin at least, right? Because in this case, when it comes to Cardano, for example, this is a very obvious example where it's probably getting rejected right here and is set for new lows. So I would not bet on that, and I would just take my loss and YOLO later, be out of there. Sometimes you just have to take your loss to prevent a bigger loss. But also you can be like, okay, but is my Cardano Bitcoin valuation also down? Because Bitcoin went up, and on some altcoins, you might be up on your Bitcoin. Like maybe you bought Cardano right here, right? While the dollar value is down, the Bitcoin value might be up. So maybe it's smart to sell it for Bitcoin instead. Right? And it doesn't mean that you cannot get a loss in the meantime as well, because Bitcoin can also go down. But I think a lot of altcoins can still, especially now at the levels where they are sitting right now, go down 70%. Bitcoin is less likely to go down 70%, right? So it's just risk management right there. And another thing, and that's very personal, I'm gonna share my high risk portfolio with you, as that's my YOLO money. I don't have a lot of money in there, but what I'm doing right here is quite funny. Is I bought a lot of low caps basically, and in this run, I made some profits, right? Like if you look at the 7 days, you see some coins going up 90%, 50%, 40%. And like, for example, that's just over the last week, right? But, well, this is overall, is this just up 40%? But a lot of coins are up 100% or so. I don't have an example right now. But what you can do is just be like, okay, do I actually have profit somewhere? Because my high risk portfolio is almost free. I have $800 in this portfolio right now, but $600 profits of that, right? This 60% doesn't make sense. But if I look at my P&L right now, for example, Metaware, I have $40 in it, but I have $180 profit. So even if I buy for $140, I'm still in that coin for free, right? So I just saw, for example, that I had the hustle. I invested $100 in it. It was worth $140. And I was like, okay, cool, take my investment out. So I took my $100 back, put it back in my cash portfolio. So I'm back where I was with my cash. And I'm now for free in this coin. So whatever happens to that coin, it doesn't matter for me. If it goes to 0, I don't lose. If it does 100x, I'm still fine. So my emotions are completely out of it. And I still have my cash to deploy in other stuff. So my goal is for this portfolio, for example, to be in this for completely free by that, right? So every time I have some, like for Nakamoto Games Sane, by the way, I had some decent gains. I had, I don't know how much money, but I now have $170 in that coin. But I have $170 profit as well. I'm completely in this coin for free. Of course, I can take that $170 and, you know, start over with another coin. But I also believe in the project. And I think it has the room to do maybe a 10, 20, 50x. I don't know. And if it doesn't matter. I'm in it for free, right? Make sure that you handle these relief rallies right. Take your profits, because if you do not take your profits, then these relief rallies are all for nothing. And that's the last thing I wanted to say. If you look at these relief rallies, people bought here maybe, saw their money going up, didn't take their profits, and they lose money instead of make money, right? Don't assume that this time is different and we will go into the bull market and all that. Take your profits, even if it's just your investments, and leave a little bit in it in case we do go up, which I don't expect. That's fine, right? But don't let such a relief rally be for nothing. So that's the last piece of advice. I hope this video was useful for you. If it was, smack that like button, smack that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification, and I promise tomorrow I will be back with a video about how to build a very solid crypto portfolio with some good underlying knowledge on how to maintain it. Right, guys, that's it for now. Have a lovely day.